Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Play .hack.gu. Last time we went to an area to level up for the arena and it wasn't very helpful. So we'll go to the arena this time and hopefully do something a little more exciting. But hello, Haseo. When I told Sakaki that I was going to participate in the arena, he gave me these area words. They're supposed to lead to places where you can gain a lot of experience. Delta, Halberd, Blackbow, Eye-Tree. Why don't we invite Celibus and go level up? Sounds good. Hopefully it's better than last time. Oh, I'm terribly sorry for my earlier atrocity. Let us fight together as comrades in arms in our search for Tri-Edge. Damaging the Carfax is blah 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 blah. It's a crime. So what do you know about Tri-Edge, Pyros III? What do you know about GU, for that matter, you suspicious guy? I'm not quite sure myself. Sometimes I can hear, or rather, my headset can hear sounds that other people around me can't seem to hear. It sounds like a ghost story, doesn't it? I've talked to Sakaki about this too. Oh yeah, congratulations on your latest arena victory. Yeah, seriously, you fought in it too, Adelaide. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself some credit. And from CC Corp, it's the Lucky Data collection campaign that we did with, I think it was Gaspard and Celibus a couple of episodes ago. And we get a profile for Pyros III. He wants a paid vacation. Nice. I don't really do much with the greeting cards in this volume, but I do send a couple out. I get a little collection of them and send them out later. And there's only one thing in the community forum, and I skipped it last time because it was a Crimson Versus and had nothing to do with this volume at all. But at the end of this thread, you basically find out that Gaspard is like the ultimate card player. So I figured I'd let you guys know about that now, rather than when Crimson Versus comes back in Volume 2. I really don't know why the board for that is even here. But whatever. So, oh, that was a super professional skip right there. So I actually went to that area to level up with Adelaide, and I got my ass handed to me. So I was supposed to skip that to make it look like I did a good job editing, but I guess I didn't do such a good job editing. Oops. Oh well, doesn't matter. So we're gonna go and play in the arena itself. If you may or may not remember, you need to go and participate in a bunch of preliminary matches and raise your rank before you're selected to fight in the actual tournament itself. So for about, I don't know, maybe 10 levels or so, that's probably what we'll be doing. I don't think there's too much story stuff going on. So if the last couple of episodes weren't exactly the most exciting ones, I'm sorry about that, but you know, there's always a point in an RPG where things start to move kind of slow. And there's different types of battles you can do too. There's a limit battle here where you can choose one team to fight against, and depending on how much stronger they are than you, you'll gain a certain amount of points towards your ranking. But I'm gonna do the survival battle because it's more fun, first of all. Of course, I'm saying that because I win them, so maybe it's not so fun if you lose at the very end of it, but they'll throw you against 5 different teams of randomly chosen, so they can be either weaker or stronger than you, so you can kind of screw yourself over if you're not careful. But I mean, there's only so much you can do to prepare for the arena, especially in something like survival. You know, later on when you fight in the tournament, you'll be able to check to see your opposing team and everything, so you'll get to see their class at the very least. If you fight them in the arena and you lose and you just can't keep winning against them, you might want to consider putting on some kind of customizable item that helps prevent from a certain type of weapon that they use or a status effect that they use. But I've never really found that anything in the arena is too terribly difficult. Of course, I say that now, but then, you know, in the future, I do lose to that one girl, Alkaid. And I'm so mad that I scrapped that recording, because why wouldn't I want to show Haseo getting his ass kicked by Alkaid, like, over and over and over? But, whatever. So, is this the first time we're seeing actual arena battles that we fight in ourselves? It might be. I honestly can't remember. I recorded a bunch of these in a single day, and then it might be like several days until another recording session for the commentary, because again, this is a post-commentary Let's Play. I thought it would be easier for a game like this, but no, I think we've seen them before, because I remember explaining about counterattacks in the arena. Counterattacks are a big deal. They'll get you more experience for your weapon level, I believe, or at least that's kind of like what I've heard other people say. I don't know. There are some things about dot hack that I feel like are never explained particularly clearly. Like the affection system. You might notice that there's like a red dot or a blue dot or something like that with maybe some smaller dots circling around it when you go to choose your party. That represents a character's affection towards Haseo, and that will affect things like how when they'll reply to your emails for the greeting cards. I think they'll reply to emails after a certain amount of time if it's like story related. But that might also be affected by how their affection is towards you. And then something I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I've always kind of considered like the better an affection is, the better they'll be in battle. Like if you have someone set to life for their strategy, a character with better affection towards Haseo will heal more consistently, they'll take care of status ailments faster, stuff like that. But I'm not 100% sure. The manual never really confirms anything, and when I went to look on the wiki, it even didn't seem, 100% positive at what I said. Oh yeah, and the Beast Awakening just completely, like, they cut it down. As you can see, the morale gauge just decreases so much faster, but it's usually, there's still enough time to just go to town on whoever you're going against. And again, you only need to defeat the leader too. So that's usually key. Unless there's like a harvest cleric like in this one here, or if there's someone that's being a particular pain in the ass. Like any kind of mage I feel like would be kind of safe to go after just because they probably won't have good defense and you can take them down fairly quickly. But especially if they're at a higher level. But I've never really, it's usually good just to go for the leader. But like we see here, I went after the Harvest Cleric first, and she's already down. Yeah, it's weird because, I guess my general stance towards what I'm doing in this Let's Play is I'm showing a lot of the field exploration, but cutting out a lot of the monotonous battles. Just because, like, dot hack can go on for a long time, and it can get very repetitive. And while I may not mind like the repetitiveness so much as I'm playing, I think as a Let's Play it might just get stale. I mean, I think maybe it will get stale even like with all the editing. I don't know. Like maybe there's a reason I haven't really seen too many people talk about dot hack or Let's Play dot hack or anything like that. But arena battles I feel like are different because you don't see them too often, and they're supposed to be more of like a spectator sport. So for this first survival match, I'm leaving all of the footage in, and then I'm still cutting stuff down like I did with normal battles out in the fields, but I leave a little more there. Like I'll leave like the final part of the fight a little more. I don't know how many well, I'm probably gonna still show more of these seed ones, but I'll probably still try to cut it down just to keep things moving along, because it's weird. We're at part jeez, I don't even know, what part are we at? We're at part, let's see, 18, I think this episode is. And I feel like more should have happened in the story by now, but to be fair, I also felt that way while playing the game itself. GU's pacing is kind of weird. Since it is like an episodic game series for 3 parts, it kind of follows like how a trilogy of anything kind of follows. Like that first volume is a little slower. It, introduces you to the characters and the world and the settings and the premise, and a lot of that is kind of like the I don't know what you would want to call it. Not padding, but the slower beginning part of whatever. And the second volume kind of like addresses a bunch of mysteries in the first game, but also brings a lot up. It kind of feels like nothing really gets solved because you go in immediately coming off of a cliffhanger, and then you also end on a cliffhanger. Third one is always supposed to wrap things up, but you never know how third things in trilogies go. I don't know. Trilogies can be very weird. But for this particular trilogy, it kind of follows, you know, what I think is like the standard pacing of like any kind of trilogy, you know, like whether it be like a game or a movie series or whatever. I don't know. So it wasn't too bad. It was under 5 minutes. So even though you have to like fight a bunch of people, like see we're only at rank 282, but you know, you skip a ton of rank numbers and you'll be able to climb up the ranks fairly quickly. It's kind of good if you just do like a couple of these in between areas that you get, and it's still good to go to those areas that you're being emailed about to level up. Hopefully the next one is going to be better since it kicked my ass so much. I'm willing to bet there were stronger enemies and I'll give a lot more experience. I can't remember exactly why I had a problem. I think I just avoided buying healing items or resurrection items up until this point. So the next time I go in, I'm either going to be at a little bit of a higher level or I'm going to be more prepared. Can't exactly remember. But, even still, I'd still say it's not totally necessary to go to any of those areas that you get from the forums that just all kind of share a similar level, and they're just there to like show you, hey, here's an item you can find here to attach to a weapon or anything like that. That's, nah. I really just don't think it's worth it, even if the extra experience could have helped me a little bit out in that other battle that I lost in the area that Adelie gave me. But you know, whatever, it's fine, it's all gonna be fine. So I'm gonna go through again. This time I'm gonna go through more of a standard editing run. Who we got first? Level 17s. Got out of that pretty fast. Level 17 again. Yeah, unfortunately, the better your rank gets, I think the more of a chance you'll have to fight stronger opponents, so it does kind of help to keep your levels up. Because as you may have noticed, we didn't really get many experience points for arena battles. When you fight people, whether it's in the arena or in fields, which we haven't seen yet, but you can engage in fights with other people in the field sometimes, you won't get too much experience. You might get more weapon experience regardless of whether or not you're in the arena or not. It might just depend if you're, you know... Oh, nice. Silva's got a new skill. It just might depend on whether or not you fight a person at all. But I guess that's the trade-off for the experience thing. Because I guess the reasoning is, if you were playing this game as if it was a real game, technically all you would have to do is just like make some kind of an agreement with a friend to just, you know, fight each other over and over to gain levels and purposely lose to gain levels, and it might be like a broken system. I don't know. Although it is kind of weird because I forget exactly how Dot Hack Roots showed Haseo getting to level 133, but I know in this game you kind of get the impression that he got that way by killing a ton of PKs. So makes you wonder if he killed a ridiculous amount of PKs to get to level 133, or if he actually played the game normally. I mean, it's hard to think, because when you think about Dot Hack in terms of whether it's going to be an anime or a video game, you gotta like put some things into perspective. Like, you've gotta Like, all these models don't really show a lot of movement too much, but then in the shows, you'll see a lot more movement. So you kind of have to get the impression that, you know, you got to think that this is also a PS2 game that you're playing, and, you know, there's only so much they can really do. They are trying to emulate, like, a great source of technology in the future, even though that may or may not hit quite at home. So there is, like, a lot of, like, points where you just have to use your imagination to kind of guess how something would go. But yeah, I was thinking about the Dot Hack Roots thing. Earlier I said I was probably not going to watch it, but I don't know, this always happens whenever I revisit Dot Hack. I always kind of want to just go head first into the whole thing, which is probably why my playthroughs of Dot Hack have gotten really infrequent. I mean, it's an RPG, you're not, like, playing it over and over, but, you know, like, in high school, it might be, like, I'd play the games, like, once a year. Well, the original games, anyway. This game wasn't out in high school for me. It came out my first year of college. But you know, nowadays, it might be, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years before I go back to Dot Hack again. Because, you know, a casual playthrough is totally doable, but, like, I get wrapped into everything. It's nuts. See, we went to, like, 282 to 154. We'll be in the tournament before you know it, and then we'll have our trash talking and all that good stuff. The only thing that sucks, though, is that I don't know if I want to spoil it now, but in the tournament, like, you usually don't even have to defeat the leader. Like, a lot of times it's good enough just to bring their HP down to a certain point, like halfway, and then, like, a story specific thing will come into play. So that kind of kills the excitement of it, but, you know, nah. Whatever, man. It's hardly the worst thing that I feel about this game. But anyway, so next time, hopefully we'll do something more with a story. So I'll see you guys then.